afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever you are watching this. But hello and welcome to another awesome episode of Super Kicking It with Stephen and Greg, your favorite two hosts right here. The Greg one over there. I am Stephen A1181 right here. Follow me on Twitter for all that good stuff. What a weekend it here is in Indy, Greg. I don't know if you know, but Taylor Swift is here for that's right, 3 dates. This
What?
weekend. Yes, this is the last dates of the North American part of her Eras tour. So she is gracing her presence here in Indy, and Indy is going all out, Greg. There is plenty of uh, Swift karaoke happening. There's brunches happening on bars downtown. There is uh, big friendship bracelets on big buildings of Indianapolis. So yeah, we are rolling out the red carpet. The big Marriott, which is our huge hotel that oversees the whole city, has a giant ass sticker of her on the side of it, where normally they'll put the Colts or the Pacers or they'll put IndyCar racers. So we are rolling out the red carpet for her this weekend. Probably much needed entertainment, Greg, after a rough week for Indy sports. You know, the Pacers did beat the Celtics, and then they lost last night, Greg. So, and I don't know if you heard, but yeah, Anthony Richardson got benched. So, what a time to be alive, Greg, in Indy sports. So, your Chargers, how'd they do this week?
We did good. We beat. Oh shoot, we beat we beat somebody.
Yeah, you won. Yeah,
That's the important thing. We won. We got Cleveland coming up, and
that should be a win.
we wish that Deshaun Watson was still playing because he sucks. Yeah. But Jameis Winston is in there, and he just beat Baltimore last week. So,
oh yeah,
that's going to be more of a challenge than it would have been a week ago. Mm-hmm. But team's looking good. Justin put up 2 touchdowns and almost 300 yards, so he's really starting to cook. Yeah. Now that the offense has decided, okay, we should do more than just run the ball 60 times a game, especially when the running game's not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. And let Justin cook. Mm-hmm. And that's what's been happening since he's been able to throw the ball more. Guess what? We've been winning games. So, hey, I think take a cue. And he's going to have another big week this week, and get that ball rolling to the playoffs. So this will put us up to 5-3, and right in the mix. So, and keep an eye on the trade deadline because that's Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure there's something other people will be looking at on Tuesday, but I'll be looking to see who we sign as more important. But yeah, so far so good, and looking forward to seeing what this coming week brings us.
The Suns, they picked up a win too on the week, didn't they? I think.
Yeah, we've been going against the Lakers and Clippers a lot. Yeah, we've had 2 games against both of them already, and went 1 up, 1 down in all 4 games. So we're still breaking even right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my Pacers. Looks like Halliburton's still rounding into form a little bit. It's hard to. I think there's a mental thing there, trying to do too much, just because of the pressure of last year. So, yeah, because like I said, we were up 24 on the Celtics, had to do overtime, and took care of business there, and then got knocked down by the Pelicans last night. So you just don't know yet. I mean, give it another month or so. We got the in-season tournament coming up soon, Greg. So, and that's kind of when the Pacers started rolling then, because they rolled through their 3 games and then face the Lakers in the championship. So, who knows? Maybe they could get rolling then. And and then my Colts. Apparently, they're about win now, Greg. Even though we drafted a project quarterback that we thought would carry us through the future. So. I don't know what
the definition of project. He's not ready. So
that's also that's what you signed up for too. So that's what's
yeah.
Anyways, 13 games in college, 10 games in the NFL, and that's a small sample size. But anyways,
yeah.
I guess I'm wondering if the NFL will start if if the young guy quarterback thing is going to be go away a little bit, because most of the quarterbacks doing well were in college for 3 years and ready to go. So look at Washington's quarterback. I heard he was 3 or 4 year guy, and he's balling out, Greg. So
Exactly. Experience counts for something. I want to go back to the days it used to be where you draft a guy, he sits behind the vet and learns the game,
that's what
and then he comes in after with a year of seasoning, just watching and learning from the vet, and then he's ready to go. I'm thinking about my guy Philip Rivers.
Mhm.
When he came in, he sat for a year behind Drew Brees,
Yeah.
and when Drew Brees left that next year, Philip came in, he started cooking right away,
Yeah.
and he didn't look back. Um,
And I
Justin
guess it
Herbert was a little
depends
bit
on.
different. He was forced in there, but
Yeah.
kind of the same thing. You have to
I mean,
sit and
look at
watch them.
Jordan Love. Like, you get the Jordan, he sat for all those years and
Yep.
he's looking. But I also understand, like, Peyton Manning was going to start from day one, Greg. So
True.
Andrew Luck was going to start from day one. Brett Favre was going to start. So I get, anyways. But yeah, we are here anyways to predict Crown Jewel. There we go. I was trying to find where it was. It is Crown Jewel Day, another Saudi Arabia event, Greg. I feel like we just keep getting in. I
Yay.
know. But hey, we are getting a lot of variety of matches on this card. And, I think the big idea will be if there's any surprises along the way, i.e., Goldberg, is he hiding out somewhere in a desert in Saudi Arabia, Greg? Because they
Uh,
they got to do something with Gunther and Goldberg if you're going to do it. So, but anyways, let's start with this match. I know you've called it, Greg. Do you see Jade and Bianca losing the titles here, or do we, kind of push it out another month or so and then let the disintegration of their team start playing out?
I'm saying time is right. Right now, time is right.
Yeah.
So yes, they do lose,
Okay.
and I'm going to go with the mega upset
Mm,
and go with Lash Legend and Jakara
okay.
Jackson. This would be a good time to move them up. They're not doing anything in it really in NXT since I guess Noam Dar's injury is probably worse than we expect. He's
Yeah,
been
but he
out
hasn't
this
been.
long.
I was gonna say, he's been on the show for a while now. It feels like so.
Yeah, and those two and Oro aren't really doing anything. This is a good time to just promote them on the fly.
Mhm.
They've been getting a good reaction on the main roster on
Yeah,
SmackDown,
they don't feel out of
and
place.
absolutely they look right. They fit right in, and I think that screen test they've been having these past few weeks proves that.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna call the mega upset. Lash and Jakara win,
Mhm.
and we see them on SmackDown moving forward.
Mhm.
Maybe it closed out their chapter with Metaphor a couple more weeks on NXT, but
Mhm.
that's it. The girls come up.
Yeah, and I mean, it does feel like a soft, a soft call up for them, doesn't it? I mean, you haven't really mentioned them on NXT TV at all, Greg.
Right.
So, and I think Oro had a match a little bit ago, maybe. But anyways, so I think I think the champions retain. I think we're still. I think I think we can hold off the accidental loss, accidental knock into Royal Rumble time, and then let that simmer until WrestleMania. Because I
Mm,
still think that's got to be the plan: is Bianca versus Jade. Unless Charlotte's ready, then maybe do Jade and Charlotte and run that Greg at Mania. But I think the plan right now needs to be Jade and Bianca 1-on-1, and I think we still got plenty of time to let that kind of play out for it. So I think they're going to retain in this match. I guess if I had to pick an upset, I actually think Chelsea Green, and Piper Niven could be the upset team. I mean, they've
mhm.
obviously put in the work.
True.
Did they win it before? I feel like they held it once, but I could be wrong.
Mm, yeah, I can't remember
Anyways,
either.
well, I know EO and Kyrie
But
have had it, so
yeah,
and then like I said, but if Lash and Jakara got it, I don't think I'd be, I wouldn't be like, oh no, like that's horrible. Like, because I think they could work NXT as well, since you're kind of letting the women's tag team champions work
Yeah,
all three
true.
brands at some point anyway. So you
That'd
could
be a
have
cool
them
first for the NXT team to win the main roster belts.
exactly. So I think yeah, but I still think the champions retain in this one.
But
Now
at the same
this
time,
one,
I think that you
go ahead.
don't marry Bianca and Jay for this long and not
Yeah,
pay it off with that WrestleMania match.
yeah,
So
of course, yeah, yeah. I think there's more money, obviously, and bigger draw, and then facing each other than them going into WrestleMania as a tag team champions or tag team. So
mhm.
hopefully, and I think Triple H is smart about long term plans. So
Yeah.
I do believe Jade and Bianca. That's going to be a big match for Mania, a one on one match. So now I will pull out the upset card. I think Carmelo Hayes gets the title here, Greg. I think I know it kind of sucks to have him win it in Saudi Arabia, but I feel like the crowd will be hot no matter what, Greg, because international crowds are big no matter what. Like they get behind everything. So I think you can
True.
still make it a big moment when he kind of pulls the upset and either pins Andrade. I mean, I guess if you really want to make him money, you probably have him pin LA Knight, and then you can really sell that point. But I'm going to say Carmelo Hayes gets the United States title here tonight, or well, tonight in Saudi Arabia today. And even for you, early morning, 11 a.m. kickoff, our start time,
Yeah.
Greg. So you'll get a nice morning viewing of it if you can. But I'm going to say Andrade, or sorry, Carmelo Hayes gets the win here.
uh, well, I have to agree with you in the fact that I think LA Knight is going to lose. My
Yep.
guy,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think this is, unfortunately, going to be the match. He doesn't come out ahead. He's been a step ahead of both of these guys every week, especially last week in the game 7,
Hmm.
and he just ruined the whole thing, dropped them both on their heads, and that was kind of the cue for me that his run is going to be up.
Hmm.
Um, I think the smart thing to do would be to have, because I'm going to go with you and say Carmelo is going to win,
Hmm.
and have him pin Andrade.
Yeah.
That way, LA Knight can go, well, you didn't beat me. And then
Yeah.
you have a new series of matches with those two.
Yeah.
And,
That's good.
the rivalry is already simmering, and now it's going to really start to cook. So,
Yeah.
but this time you reverse the roles with Carmelo being the one with the strap and
Hmm.
LA Knight back in chase mode. And is he going to cruise
Could you
into more heel territory?
could you flip the sides as well just to kind of play that out?
Yeah, because it feels like he's going that direction anyway.
Hmm.
And he's great as a heel. As
Yeah.
much fun as he's been a babyface, he's even better as a heel.
Hmm.
So um, I'm interested to see what's going to happen there because
Hmm.
Carmelo makes a really good babyface too.
Yeah.
So I think they maybe reversing roles and seeing how that works.
Yep.
But
I think it'd be an easy transition for both guys too. You don't even
yeah,
have to really let it, necessarily be so overt. You could just like let it kind of play under the radar as both guys are switching roles. So, how about this one, Greg? I'll let you have it first. I kind of go back and forth because I do think we'll get a little series out of this. I don't think this is
mhm,
one and done. Um, Orton is very loved across the way, so you kind of feel like and you wonder how much Orton's got left. But this one's kind of played out well, and we do have those little scenes, though, Greg, of Orton looking at that title. So he's
mhm,
eventually coming for Cody.
yep,
Uh, I think come WrestleMania, those two are. If we don't get Cody and The Rock, you definitely are going to get Cody and Randy. And I think that's probably even a bigger plan because then you have The Rock and Roman one on one. So without a
mhm.
title, because we kept saying that. So I will. Oh, sorry. I'll let you go.
All right. So unless this is a stipulation match, like a no DQ or something like that, I think this match is going to end with a disqualification.
Okay.
Um,
So there's no clear winner. Yeah.
right. So I'm still on the KO side,
Hmm.
and So unless they've made this a no disqualification, if it's just a straight wrestling match, I think Randy's going to win by DQ.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say Randy wins straight up. I think because, like we said, I think there's still meat on the bone. Greg, is your to steal a phrase from you because
Yep.
they're just kicking this feud off. So, and then like I said, you got plenty of time to roll before WrestleMania. So I'm gonna say Randy Orton picks up the win straight up. But you can. Sorry to interrupt. You can keep your thought going if you need to.
No, I just think it's this angle is really interesting because of the way it's kicked off.
Yeah.
KO, jumping Cody in the parking lot and them not wanting to keep it hush hush.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many guys we seen getting jumped and starting to beef and it airs itself out on TV? But now you had KO, banned from the building apparently, and everything seems, like we're keeping
They're trying
you
something
protected,
different.
Randy. We're keeping you protected, Cody,
Yeah.
and KO's like ultimate evil. So the way they're doing this is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for that reason. So I'm curious to see where they go with it because I don't quite see it
Mm-hmm.
just because it's not so different from any other time a beef is kicked off like this. So, but it got me interested. I'm interested in seeing how this turns out.
And letting Kevin like cut his own little promo from like the hotel room,
Yeah.
and he throws it on social media first to say, "Hey, they won't let me say this on TV." So yeah, definitely a different way to present it, and but it also blurs that line like how real it is. So I think that's a good way because, like I
True.
said, if we want to revisit Kevin and Cody again, and now you have defined roles, and then you're off and running on can't maybe Orton comes in and screws that up, and now you have Orton and Cody going at it. So definitely blurring the lines of who's who and just the way you present a feud. And I'd be very curious whose idea it was to kind of do this because it's definitely using social media. It's using fan
Mhm.
perspective because, like they said, they use it as a fan. They said,
Yeah.
we got this from a fan camera. We didn't get it from security cams. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. And like we said, Kevin Owens as a heel, that's where he's at, and we shall see. I think his contract comes up soon too, so that'll be another discussion down the road. I know we did lose a few people over the week, Greg, which we can get into maybe at the end real quick, but they they do the under the radar releases now instead of coming out and saying it, but which is a different way to do it too. So how about this one? This one I've gone back and forth with. I I would love to give Bronson Reed the first shot, Greg. I just think he's earned it. He deserves it. He needs it. But it's Seth Rollins. It's hard to get, and I do think this is a feud that goes for a little bit. So, does the baby face get but I think if you really wanted to go somewhere, I think you give Bronson the Reed the first shot. So then he doesn't need to give Seth the match. There's, you got to make Seth go through hoops. So
Mhm.
I'm going to call it, Greg. I think Bronson Reed gets the win tonight.
Yep, I like that. And you know me, I've been a Bronson Reed fan since NXT,
Yep.
and props to Triple H for giving him, an awesome presence and building him up, you know, like a big hoss.
Yeah.
From the way that he's calm, cool, and suave backstage in his three piece.
Hmm.
His promo style is really very cool.
Hmm.
Um, Usually men his size can't cut killer promos like he does. And
Yeah.
it's not that he's saying the most awesome things ever, it's just the way he says it.
Hmm.
So his whole presentation, the way he's been brought up, has been perfect. His slow ascendancy to where he is right now has been great.
Hmm.
And then, you've used the storm of tsunamis and the Braun Strowman feud to really make him into a beast worth being recognized. And now that's where we are with him and Seth Rollins, and you're just not looking at this match and go, "Oh, that's a walk for Seth."
Yeah.
Now you know this is going to be a fight.
Mhm.
So this is the same thing. I wish there was a, no holds barred, no DQ type of stipulation to it, because then we get more leeway for what it should be. Swinging chairs and action outside the ring, stuff like that. But maybe because it's Saudi, that's why they're not doing it.
Yeah.
You don't see people going into the audience in Saudi Arabia. So I think for that reason, since those type of handcuffs are on, that I'm going to call it for Seth.
Mhm.
But I want Bronson to win. But I think for those reasons, the steal from Shark Tank, I'm going to go with Seth in this match.
Yeah. Seth has definitely been taken care of by Bray Wyatt back in the day, though, in Saudi, because we remember the infamous uh, dark, the weird lighting they used the whole time. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so Seth is definitely due for a little more luck there in Saudi Arabia. So. How about this one, Greg? You pulling for Nia or Liv?
I'm going for Tiffany Stratton because
Cash
I
in?
think that's who's
Yeah.
going to end up with the belt at the end of this match.
Which belt?
Good point. Good point.
Probably Nia's. I mean,
She,
obviously
yeah,
Nia's.
yeah, Nia's belt
Yeah.
for sure. And then you're going to kick off that whole feud, but this is going to be Liv beating Nia,
Mm-hmm.
and then Tiffany taking advantage and taking a pin, maybe doing the that awesome moonsault she does, the what they call PME, prettiest moonsault ever.
Especially if she could do it with the briefcase.
Right. And she's going to win. And I hate that she's going to win it in Saudi Arabia. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
This is a moment that should be had stateside, but you got to do what you got to do. It's Tiffy time, and we got to kick it off somewhere. I'm sure the Saudi Arabia fans will enjoy it, and
Yeah.
hopefully it gets the pop it deserves. Um, I don't know if the women are on the same level as the men as far as the appreciation from the crowd, but maybe this is another step in getting that appreciation. So uh, even though I hate to see it cash in here, I think it's going to get cashed in, and Tiffany's going to win.
I think, yeah, I think that sounds like what that seems how it's going to play out. Because there's been too many, way too chummy between Nia and Tiffany. Um, and then I was going to call for the upset of Liv just because you have all the Dirty Dom, you have Raquel, so you got
Yeah.
plenty of advantages for Liv to steal this and run out of there. And then, like you said, Tiffany sweeps in. It just, we thought maybe last month, but it feels like there's way too much right there now.
Yeah.
You can't keep delaying it. So just do it. Pull the string, as they say. Break the glass and see. And like you said, the Saudi fans are good at reacting, Greg. So I think it'll be a big pop. And heck, now they can say they saw a cash in. So, and I'm hearing so obviously the winner will not get the 50 carat title to walk around with, Greg, but they will get a Super Bowl esque ring to wear. So
Nice.
that would be their way of showing off what they've won for the title win there. So all Cody, Greg, all Cody. I think it's all about QB1. And unfortunately, I think there will be a distraction by you know who. And yeah, that's what cost Gunther.
Oh no.
And then we're off and running Gunther versus Bill Goldberg at Survivor Series. And I can't believe we're even doing that for Gunther, Greg. Yeah.
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 The only reason I can co-sign on this because it will mean that I get to watch Gunther destroy Goldberg.
Yeah. I hope.
Oh my! That better be what it means.
Yeah.
Um, I'm Team Gunther on this one. I love Cody, and I think there's a number of reasons Gunther should win. I think you have the giant Saudi title that they're going to win, and I think they should leave that in Saudi Arabia. That way, when they have this next year, you have your representative champion, whoever's going to win this, and that's going to be the person that comes back and defends it until they lose it, and so on. And it makes more sense on Gunther than it does on Cody because of whatever story they may be involved in at the moment.
Yeah.
So to have Gunther being of, adjacent, descent, European descent, closer to the UAE, that he'd have more of a home crowd type of feel there. And, it would be a good, secondary champion. I mean, it'd be the number one out there with that title until he loses it. So I think it would make more sense that he has it.
Okay. I guess that's what's going to be interesting, how they play it out. Because what if you're not the champion? Like, what if Gunther's not world champion, but he wins that? Or what if Cody is not WWE champion, but he wins that? So do you put that person in the match? Are we just making it, so then the crown jewel champion is its own iteration, no matter what title you have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my point, is that whoever wins this match is going to be like the Saudi Arabia world champion.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, I'm sure when they, the week after, they're going to bring the belt with them to whatever city they're in. I'm the new champion. And then after that, we're not going to see it anymore.
Right back.
So, leave it in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. And when it comes to the next Saudi Arabia event, the Saudi Arabia world champion is going to be there to defend that title. Yeah. And so it's going to be, just, equivalent to like the Intercontinental champion. But, this is their world championship, and that's their representative until, like I said, until they lose it, they're going to go back and defend it. And so you keep it separate from the real world titles.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why I think it's better that Gunther wins than Cody wins, because it'd be easier to slot him in, because Cody's going to be doing main card, top of the card stuff for a long time. So I think Gunther's the perfect person to have it.
And do we think this main event, because if we look on the WWE side of things, Greg, their preview, this match was last, but I would assume you want to have your crown jewel champion as your closing shot. So, which main events? This match, the 6-man tag team match, or the crown jewel champion match?
No, I think the crown jewel champion match will be last. Because, like you said, that's the way it should be.
I
feel like show with whoever's holding that giant belt.
Yeah. So, who do you got in this match then? Roman Reigns and the Usos, all back together, all on the same page, throwing up the ones last night, Greg, against the Bloodline. I believe Tonga is not going to be in this, but we'll have Tama, Jacob, and Solo. I am looking for the hell out of Roman and Jacob, Greg. To lock up them poles and see where, how that goes. But which direction do you think you're going to go for this? The OC Bloodline or the new G, NG Bloodline?
I'm gonna give it first shot to the new G's, just for the numbers game by it alone. Yeah. They're still outnumbered 4-3. You know that whoever's the odd man out is going to be at ringside, and they're really good at running the game and the distraction, keeping the referee looking over here while the thing's going on over here. And, maybe uses a weapon, maybe, whatever it's going to be, but shenanigans ensue. The fourth member gets involved, and that's the cue that, we need to even up our ranks
Yeah.
if we're going to have a chance.
Mhm.
So I'm going to say New G Bloodline.
It's so hard to argue because you got them all united. I think I'm gonna do Roman and Usos for the first shot, Greg, because I want the new guys to get the War Games match because I think that would be the bigger deal. Having them just totally destroy Roman and the Usos in War Games, especially if you can include the real Tribal Chief, Greg, the final boss in some regard, and
Mm-hmm.
then you really have the young guns coming at it. So I will say Roman, Jay, and Jimmy get the win this time. Um, Now, if you have them get beat down afterwards, I'm okay with that too.
Mm-hmm.
And then then you have them get the upper hand in a way. But I
Right.
think I want the bloodline with Solo to get that win in War Games coming up at the end of November, and really lay the the woodshed, as they say, especially if we have The Rock involved. Because like I said, I think if we're doing Cody and Randy, then we got to do The Rock and Roman, 1-on-1, no title involved, straight up bloodline warfare, and that then it could finally happen in Vegas. I mean, is there is there really a bigger place, Greg, for WrestleMania to do that than
No,
Las
absolutely not.
Vegas? I mean, so yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting if they somehow talk us into this is the main event, but it probably shouldn't. Just because, like I said, if you have the crown jewel champion, that's what this whole event's built around, then that should be the main event. And Cody raising that title or Gunther raising that title is what the closing shot should be. But this match, like you said, I think there'll be shenanigans. Either you have a ref bump or the ref will be lenient with the rules, Greg. And I kind
Right.
of wonder with Seth and Bronson if they'll do that too. I mean,
Uh-huh.
most of these matches you could do that, right? Kevin and
True.
Randy, Seth and Bronson. So yeah, but I think it'll be this will be a really good match, a really good event. 7 matches is a good 3-hour pay per view size, Greg. So and then we're off and running towards Wars Games, and like I said, getting Rock back on TV to really kickstart that would be something to watch. So.
Do we see
Uh,
Rock tonight or
I
today?
don't. I don't think tonight. If Because I think if we're gonna have Goldberg, I think just one big surprise would be good. And if Goldberg is that unfortunately big surprise, Greg, I don't think the Rock. Now that I guess the downfall is when does the Rock show up, or does the Rock just show up at War Games, and and kind of show that
Mm.
he's then that way you've really kept him under almost like out of sight, out of mind, Greg. Because what did we have last year at War Games? CM Punk return. So maybe now you're starting to build Survivor Series as a bigger event when you have these big returns. So maybe The
Mhm.
Rock shows up at the end and finally kind of puts his name with the new guys, the new bloodline, to kind of give them that over it. So I don't think The Rock tonight, but I mean The Rock's got to show up sooner rather than later.
Agreed. Agreed. That's
So
why I was thinking. Um, and since it's not the last match, it would take some of the awe out of it because
yeah,
you got another match coming after it.
yeah. I
So I'm kind
don't
of
think
talking
this is
myself
the
out
end
of
of
my
it.
own
So
point.
yeah.
But I was seeing him, say the match is over, New G Bloodline is is issuing a beatdown. You hear the rock music play.
Mhm. That would be a
Rock
good way
comes
to.
out, and then you have that moment of whose side is he on,
Mhm.
and then he punches Roman in the face,
Yeah.
and then there it is. He's with the new guys, and you know the 5-on-3 beatdown gets rougher than the 4-on-3.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think that would be a cool moment, but like I said, since it's not that last thought of the night, that it probably won't happen.
Yeah. I mean, if you end the night with this, I guess all bets are off, right, Greg?
Right.
So I mean, but like I think the Rock would be too big of a moment to have
Yeah.
second to last, you know, or whatever. I'm guessing this will be second to last. They love. Now I noticed they haven't been using their whole. They used to say, "Hey, triple main event, double." They've been good about not doing that type of
Yeah.
garbage. I'll call it, Greg, because it is. Let's face it, the main event is the last match anyway. But
Exactly.
so real quick, we did have a couple. Well, we had 3 releases over the week. So last night, Nixon, Tegan Knox, Greg is gone. Not a big. I don't think a lot of people are saying it's a big loss. I think it's better for her to go off and running on independent scene. Indy
Yeah.
Hartwell was one of the releases, and I think that's another like she'll go find herself, kind of like Steph DeLander.
Mhm.
I think she'll do that, just reinvent herself. And then Baron Corbin, I think that was the big surprise.
Wow. Okay.
But I also think 12. They said 12-year run on the roster, Greg, which is crazy to think. So, who he could maybe go reinvent himself and come back, a la Drew McIntyre, a la Gender.
Right.
I think now I don't think the independent scene's gonna be lining up for him, Greg, but
True.
I don't know if AEW's maybe Impact, but I don't think AEW would be a good fit for him. So
No.
those are the 3 names, Greg. I mean, they're losses, but they're not, the wheel will keep turning, as they say.
Agreed. Nobody's going to be, burning up the social media trying to get them back.
Yeah,
Um,
that's kind of how I feel.
yeah. I mean, like I
I
said,
know those.
Tegan will be fine.
Yeah,
Indy, she needs some character development. She's been the same
I think
person since
that's
day one,
yeah.
and she
Matt
needs to do
Cardona
something
probably
different.
is calling her right now.
Yeah. Hey, put her in GCW, let her be the bad girl, and
Yeah,
you know, she needs to switch her game up, and maybe a few years down the line she'll be back something completely different, but that's what she needs. And then Baron, I was a little surprised at that because he's been out as a representative for WWE at different sporting events. Thought I saw him at the last UFC
yeah.
308. He was in the crowd. Saw him at a football game,
Mhm.
and he'd been out. It was at the Cardinals game when I went to Monday Night Football
Okay,
to see the Chargers and the Cardinals. He was in the
he's
he was in
former
the
Cardinal.
building, ringing the siren to get the fans riled up,
Yeah,
and he was on screen doing an interview talking about he played for the Cardinals for a year or however long it was. So that's why he has love for the Valley and all that nonsense. So he'd been out doing the rounds with the carrying the WWE banner.
mhm.
They even put a video package of him up on the screen, and
Okay.
really put him
Well, that's a
over.
good goodbye goodbye package, Greg.
There you
He was
go.
on the Colts for a hot minute too, because I think he was on the practice squad because McAfee was on the same time as he was, so
Right,
they were on
right.
the Colts for a little bit.
So maybe he can go and try out for the Cardinals again. They need the help, but
They
he'll be fine. I see him as an impact guy.
yeah,
That seems to fit him really well, and
yeah.
he can do whatever he wants. And you know,
I mean,
I
look
hope
at
he doesn't just be the same guy because
well, that's the
he
thing. Yeah, I don't know how. I mean,
right.
you're this long in the game now, Greg. I
Yeah,
mean,
you are what you are at this
and they
point.
try to reinvent it. We did a few runs with him doing different things, and yeah, so,
Yeah, he needs an upgrade, but how do you upgrade him? I mean,
yeah.
nobody understands what burn the ships means. So it's
And I guess him and Apollo Cruz really, were starting to meld together. But that's another name, Greg. I'm surprised he's not
yeah.
on the job. Maybe he didn't answer his phone when he saw that Stamford, Connecticut area code. So, but yeah, like you said, I don't think I saw social media. There's a few people like, oh my God, this is such a big loss that we lost Tegan Knox. I'm like, I mean, I think she needs to go find herself.
Yeah.
And I think she's still, probably pre-30, so she's still got time. And Indy Hartwell, I think, is 25, 26, Greg, or 27-ish. So you still got, and her and Steph DeLander have some history anyway, because they were NXT as a
Mhm.
tag team for a little bit. So Yeah, I think Matt Cardona has has her on speed dial right now. So to try to see if maybe, well, actually, Steph DeLander is out for the time being because she had some neck surgery. So hopefully she gets all better, and then maybe they can kind of recreate something that they had going. But nothing, no big names. We did see Lashley finally debut the Hurt Syndicate going forward, so we'll talk more
Yeah.
about that as the time moves ahead. But that's kind of all I got today. And enjoy Crown Jewel. Anything else for the good of the matter, Greg, to end our show?
Well, I will, of course, shout out to my Chargers. Let's go beat up the Browns and keep this train rolling.
Yep.
And special shout out to the Young Bucks private party match.
Yeah.
Outstanding. And it took you on that
They pulled
ride,
the
that trip.
trigger.
Did not expect that outcome. Did not expect it. I had a
I
whole
guess they're
different
on the
storyline
hiatus.
painted in my brain.
The Young Bucks are going to go get some probably long due off time, Greg, and should be
Yeah.
back by the first of the year is what I'm reading. Because I think they're going. I think they want to try to do Wrestle Kingdom one last, kind of another time. So
Hmm.
I think they're, and then I think they're going to have the Wrestle. I think there's an AEW New Japan thing happening in Japan. I thought they were trying to push. So, but anyway, so private party. Mercedes got her picture with them, Greg, because she's always been a big fan of them.
Uh,
That was a very big surprise to see
yeah.
them. But I also think you could have split up private party, so you kind of booked yourself into a corner there. So,
Well, I think he could have. And then after they took the L, that Mark Quinn turns on
oh yeah,
Isaiah for bringing up that idea in the first place,
yeah, that's true.
and then you start the rivalry with those two,
Yeah,
and that starts off Isaiah's face run and Mark's heel run, and they go their separate ways that way. So
mm,
that's kind of what I was thinking.
okay, yeah,
Um, but that match took you on that ride, and at the end you start feeling like, are they going to win?
hmm
And they kept you going back and forth with that doubt,
hmm
and then they actually pulled it off. Hit Gin and Juice 1 2 3. Like what? They got me on that one. I was not expecting that to happen. So shout out to them. Outstanding match. All the drama, all the feels, and you had to give them some love before we talk about what else happened next week. So
yeah. And then it sounds
shout
like
out
the
to
Young Bucks could be the babyface saviors, Greg, down the road. That's why we haven't seen them encounter the Blackpool Combat Club, but yeah, the BCC. So
uh-huh.
I think it'd be kind of interesting to see the Young Bucks get back to their original ways. Give us the super kick party music back,
Yeah.
give us BTE back, and kind of
Right.
get off and running. The heel run was fine, but I think they realized it wasn't. I don't think it clicked like they thought it would.
Right.
So
And you need stronger representation standing next to Orange Cassidy than Private Party. No
yeah.
disrespect to Private Party after I put him over
Well, and it
5 years.
also builds up like they're legit EVPs. Like, why would they want? Why would they want their company to fall apart due to a mutiny?
Yeah.
Due to so. I mean, it makes a lot. Like, I think it'll make a lot of sense now. I guess what will happen with Okada and Jack Perry, Greg? That should be however they'll have to figure that out. But
Yeah.
I think the Young Bucks need to be on the face side, and especially, I mean, who's to say their run might be done soon. I think they want to do the Daniel Bryan aspect. Be done when your body can still hold itself up, Greg, and have the time with your family.
Sure.
Especially I think their kids aren't quite like 13, 14, but their kids are probably 10, 9, 8. So they're starting. I think they may want to be home more. So I
Yeah.
think they got a pretty comfy. They got some good time off anyway. But I think it's be nice to kind of get their bodies right, get back in the thick of kind of recenter themselves and refine themselves. So, them off TV for a little bit is probably a good idea. But I do think it's going to hurt Okada and Jack Perry because now they're going to secure themselves. And, like you said, Greg, we haven't seen the Okada that we've seen in New Japan, and Jack Perry's Jack Perry. So
Yeah.
we shall see where AW goes. But my Pacers, I don't know who we got yet, but I know my Colts got Sunday Night Football. Joe Flacco, baby, against
Hey,
the Vikings. Is that Sam Darnold?
Darnold, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know
Gonna be
he's
hard.
he's shifted. He's finally kind of finding his ways, Greg.
He
So
is. He's
yeah,
done a lot better than I thought he would. So
it is
he,
interesting. I've probably written off some like Baker Mayfield. Kind of had a little bit of resurgence. Stafford finally got well. Stafford always was good, but then finally found the right team. But anyways, these guys that, like we said, early high draft picks can. So maybe Anthony Richardson isn't quite dead in the water yet, Greg. But I am worried that the Colts might be on the carousel again as they were the last few years. So, but we
yeah,
can talk more about that on the Dukes of Football if they talk that up. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Enjoy the day, enjoy the evening, and we'll talk to you guys next week on Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday,
Sunday.
Sunday.